Domestic hotels, educational institutions, hospitals and allied workers has issued a 10-day strike notice for the government to release 7.2 billion Kenya shillings owed to university workers. The union says the 2017 to 2021 CBA must be negotiated.
Since our CBA 2017-2021 was signed and registered by Industrial Court. 2. We have noted with a lot of concern to date, the Ministry of Finance has not been able to budget, neither communicate with the Ministry of Education about our workers of universities. And when we about those who are lecturers, those who are middle class, and those who support in terms of universities, there has not been any indication by the IPCCF, the Minister of Education, giving out a procedure on how their money is going to be paid. I want to assure you, our CBA for 2017-2021, which we signed in 2020, and registered in the year 2020 as a budget of 13.8 billion shillings. To date, the ministry and the universities have been able to pay 6.6 billion shillings. We are worried that with demanding issues of SRC, that our CBA for 2017-2021 needs to be financed with 7.2 billion shillings. And that those are arrears, because the CBA is already expiring on the 30th of June 2021.
Moving on, at least 5 people are feared to have been killed during an attack at Modowale along the Isiolo-Wajir border. Meanwhile, leaders from Isiolo County are currently addressing the media in Nairobi. Let's listen in to that.
I urge my constituent to be vigilant and report any suspicious people or movement to the relevant authority. I also appeal for a lasting peace and amicable solution to be found. I wish all those who have lost their lives, I pray for God to comfort them at this very difficult moment. Thank you so much. I think I don't want to add more than I've already read. It is so sad. This is not the first time. For the last 1 week, we have lost more than 7 people. On Thursday, we lost a young boy of 17 years. Somebody came on a motorbike, shot him, and then disappeared. Yesterday, we lost another young boy again. Today, we are losing 3 women and 2 young people. We are Africans, and as an African community, it is evil and ungodly for a man or men to target women and young people. I just pray that God will punish them in a way that He knows best. As I finish, I want to urge the government, because I wrote a letter complaining that Adado indeed is part of Isiolo County. But the current killing that is taking place happens because they want to create extra location. And in that side of Wajir, they don't have people living in the so-called Hadado. So they want to annex part of Isiolo to the new Hadado sub-county. I think it is even evil for any politician to think of killing people so that he can achieve his evil political agenda. And it's also wrong for a government to treat one community better than the other one. We are not children of lesser God. We are all Kenyans. We all have equal rights. Therefore, I do not understand why the government always favor the people from northern Kenya than us from Upper Eastern, especially Isiolo, Marsabit. We have been experiencing constant killing. Nothing happens. We go to OP to try to find out solution. Nothing. So I really want to understand why we are being discriminated. It is not right. We want to fight even at court of law because the issue of Hadado is very emotive. If it is not addressed, I can assure you we will not find our lasting peace. Thank you so much.
Mimi kwa jina naitwa Lusentene vile mheshimiwa amesema. Kwanza tuko na huzuni sana kubwa. Natuma pole zangu kwa watu yetu walipoteza watu yao. Kwanza ni pole. Ya pili, mahali kisa hii imetendeka vile mheshimiwa amesema ni sub county ya Marti, na wenye waliuawa ni watu yetu division ya Siricho, na wale walifu walikuja kwa watu yetu ni kutoka Wajia, especially ni Wajia West, na mahali wanapiga sisi ni pahali kwetu, ardhi yetu, wanakuja kupiga sisi, si mambo ya maji, si mambo ya nyasi, wamekuja kuchoma hata mashini ambaye watu wanatumia. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali ya Kenya, especially His Excellency the President of this nation, intervene hii maneno, kwa sababu ni shida naendelea usiku na mchana, watu yetu na uawa usiku na mchana. Na vile tunajua na kufuata hata sheria, hakuna first citizens class na second citizens class. Ni kama sisi ni that citizens class, especially the people from the community from Isiolo County. So serikali wanafefa kabisa watu ya Wajia, waliua watu wetu 5.
Indeed, such a gut-wrenching scenario going on there in matters insecurity in Isiolo County. May justice be served, and may justice be served to the families, and our heartfelt condolences to them as well. We're definitely following up on that report, and we will have a much more detailed report on that later on in the other subsequent bulletins. Now, moving on, nurses have threatened to down their tools if the Salaries and Remuneration Commission carries on with the salary freeze for civil servants. Addressing the press in Kakamega County, Secretary General Seth Panyako said nurses will also move to court to block the implementation of the directive. According to Panyako, the move by the government to freeze salaries has diminished nurses' prospects of better fortunes and the tough economic times occasioned by COVID-19 pandemic.
If they are going to implement it, then they should be very sure that we are going to fight it, whether in courts or in the streets. We are going to fight it until they reconsider it and they put it aside and let the increments and the implementation of the job evaluation go on as it has been. It is in law and they can't change it without consulting and without discussing with the health workers.
Ni lazima tukubaliane kwa mambo ya CBA. Tukae chini, mwajiri atuambie kwa sababu hii tutakupa 0. Na sisi tunaambia mwajiri kwa sababu ya CPI, kwa sababu ya hii purchasing power, kwa sababu ya economic growth na hii tunataka hii. Alafu baadaye tunakubaliana. SRC haina uwezo wowote wa kisheria kwenda kwa barabara na kutoa tangazo kwamba hakuna nyongeza ya mishahara. Kwa hivyo inamaanisha kwamba hakuna majadiliano ya CBA, hakuna kitu chochote ambacho kitafanyika. Tutahakikisha sewage imefungwa kwa rais, tutahakikisha stima imefungwa kwa rais, tutahakikisha hakuna maji kwa rais, ndio aelewe kwamba sisi wafanyakazi wa chini ndio tunasukuma gurudumu la maendeleo katika taifa hili. Hatuwezi kubali SRC imebadilika kuwa chombo la kisiasa ambao linatumika kupika wafanyakazi ambao ni maskini, lakini wanasiasa ambao wanadunga sheria wanapombelezwa. Hivi karibuni tuliona rais alisema kwamba SRC wapatie MCS shilingi milioni 2 ya magari. Siku iliyofuatwa barua imetoka SRC, hayo MCS wapewe hiyo pesa. Kweli uchumi ambao una shida, unaweza kuongeza watu, unaweza kupea watu milioni 2 kwa muda wa masaa 22-24.
Moving on, 2 children are fighting for their lives in hospital after they were allegedly stabbed by their father following a domestic violence in Ziwani Estate, Nyandarua County. Ken Mboro allegedly stabbed the 2 minors aged 7 and 1-year-old respectively, setting their house ablaze and then attempted suicide on Saturday evening. The 7-year-old girl suffered 10 knife stabs wounds on the back, while the 1-year-old girl suffered 5 knife stabs on the back as well. The suspect, who had stabbed himself on the stomach, and the minor are admitted at the Nyahururu County Referral Hospital. Neighbors said Mboro's inhumane act was triggered by a quarrel with his wife, who was insisting on the minor's DNA tests to be certain of the paternity. Angry neighbors wanted to lynch the man, but he was rescued by officers from Mairoinya police station. Police said once discharged, Mboro will be arraigned in court, where he is expected to face attempted murder, suicide charges and arson charges. Indeed, may justice be served. Now, moving on, former NACADA chairman John Mutudho has urged President Uhuru Kenyatta to assent to the Narcotics, Drugs and Substances Control Amendment Bill 2020. According to Mutudho, the solution in dealing with narcotics and drug lords lies in enacting the anti-narcotic law, which was passed by Parliament more than a month ago. Speaking in Nakuru over the weekend, Mutudho singled out provisions of the bill that proposes seizing of all assets belonging to drug lords once convicted, and the proceeds of their illegal businesses directed to rehabilitate the drug addicts.
Vijana wanakufa. Vijana hawezi kuzaa tena. Wengi wa hawa vijana ukiangalia maini yao imeharibika, ndio umefanya tunafanya hii demonstration hapa leo. Sheria mpya inasema hivi: lazima tupunguze ile hatari ya mihadarati. Mimi naona kama Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, rais wetu na mpendwa wetu, angeweka sahihi ile sheria leo, mimi naona wengi sana wenye hii manyumba kubwa hii, mimi naona ikiwa mali ya serikali. Hasa wakati tunaomba tuko na shida ya pesa ya kulipa wafanyikazi wetu. Tuko na shida kwa sababu ya madawa kama hii na toxin hii na ile nyingine. Hawa watu wanaswe wote ili tuweze kununua madawa na hawa watu waweze kutibiwa.
Mtoto akiwa mdogo anajaribu kutafuta role model. Sasa kama role model ni watu ambao ni drug traffickers, wale wa coast ambao wanajulikana na viongozi, nao wako na chemist ya kuuza cocaine na kuuza miadarati ingine yote. Hao ndio wanajua miadarati mpya yenye imetokezea kwa market, mchele, sijui sukari, sijui nini. Kwa hivyo we will deal with them ruthlessly. Kwa hivyo tuko na sheria ambao tunataka hata kuleta amendment so that any drug trafficker mwenye amepatikana will be paraded in Uhuru Park and shot dead because he is a murderer. He have killed so many. He have killed our generation. He have killed our future. Hata kama mtu ameua future, hata mnataka tena tumfanyie nini?
From drug lords to matters terror, where leaders in Mandera County have asked residents to work together with security agencies to avert possible terror attacks in the region. Speaking at a security consultative meeting, Northeastern Regional Commissioner Nicodemus Ndalane promised to flush out terror cells in the region if supported by the community. He alluded to the Nyumba Kumi-like initiative in the neighboring Ethiopia that has successfully helped in keeping the outlawed Al-Shabaab terror group out of the landlocked country.
Lakini tunasema kila kitu iko na mwanzo. Saa hii nataka tuwe na mwanzo mpya. Na mwanzo mpya ambao naomba kutoka kwenu wananchi ni tushirikiane. Tumalize shida za Al-Shabaab hapa kwetu Mandera. Mahali kwingine wamejaribu, wamemaliza. Mandera tuko na shida. Na ile shida tuko nayo, na ile shida ilianzia juzi, Shida haikuwa ni kuachilia Al-Shabaab waingie ndani ya kaunti yetu.
Mambo haya yote tumekubaliana nayo. Kwa hivyo msichoke tafadhalini sana. Sio ati tunakuja, tunawasikiliza, tunaenda. Hii mambo tumewasikia yote, tutakaa, na kuna vingine ambayo hatutafanya kwa sababu kuna siri ingine, kuna mambo ingine ya intelligence ambayo serikali iko nazo na sisi hatuelewi, kwa sababu kuna wataalamu wanaelewa vitu vingine zinafanyika ni nini.
Whether it's local Al-Shabaab or foreign Al-Shabaab, Al-Shabaab is Al-Shabaab. It doesn't matter whether they have local element or they have foreign element. I want to request that the risk of pitting communities against each other is very, very big. It's far worse than the issue of dealing with Al-Shabaab. And we need to make sure that we know that within our local communities, over the last 11 years, active recruitment by Al-Shabaab has taken place, where our own children have been affected, and our own children from all the clans within the county. That we acknowledge. But as soon as they cross the line and go on the other side and join Al-Shabaab, they become automatic enemies and they become agents of insecurity that must be dealt with at the same level and zeal as required, without any, separation between local or non-local Al-Shabaab or terror cells.
Moving on, Kathiani Member of Parliament Robert Mui has rubbished claims of a merger between the Jubilee and ODM parties ahead of the 2022 general election. According to the lawmaker, already there exists a cooperation agreement between the One Kenya Alliance with the two parties, and that forming another coalition would not make sense. Jubilee Party Secretary General Raphael Tuju on Thursday revealed the party's advanced plans to join hands with Raila Odinga's ODM. The two parties have formed a task force to oversee the formation of the Kenyatta-Odinga Alliance.
The Jubilee Party and the Orange Democratic Movement are coming together in a coalition. I do not believe that that is really so, because it doesn't seem to make sense to me. Somebody has attributed that to the Secretary General Raphael Tuju, and I don't know whether that makes sense at all. Because as far as I'm concerned, we are trying to build a one Kenya. One Kenya meaning that we want everyone together. And we've started the movement. Already Wiper, in conjunction with KANU, in conjunction with ANC, and also in conjunction with Ford Kenya, have already started the move. So we would like to urge our partners, that is the Jubilee Party, which we have actually signed a cooperation agreement with, and ODM, who are also in an agreement, a coalition agreement with us under NASA, to come together under the One Kenya movement. I mean, who does not want One Kenya? Let us just work together. Let us not have different factions, because the minute you create different factions, and His Excellency the President said it, then we do not have good leadership.
Moving on, a 5-year-old girl has died after an electric pole fell on her in Bahati area here in Nairobi, with residents now accusing the Kenya Power Company of negligence. It is an alleged plea from the father of the deceased, Daniel Mbaka, for officers from the power distributing company to attend to the shaky electric pole that fell on the deaf ears, causing the untimely death. According to Mbaka, his daughter was just playing outside their house when the electric pole fell on her.
Mnatupea kazi mingi hapa, tokeni mwende huko. Sawa.
Yeye imelala mbaya,
tunaambia hii kitu tuangukia ina swing. Sasa ule wa kwanza walipokuja kutoa hiyo kitu, walipanda juu hiyo crane, alipopanda huko juu. Ule alipopanda juu walikuwa kwa chini, walimwambia hiyo kitu inatingika, chunga sana. Lakini ule wa juu alitingisha hivi na akasema hii itaanguka.
Sasa baada ya hapo wakakata hiyo mbili, wakashuka chini. Wakaendelea na harakati ya kufanya nini, ya kukata zingine. Ikafika around saa 9:30 kuelekea saa 10. Watoto wangu mtoto wangu alikuwa hapa na mtoto wa jirani ule. Sasa kidogo tukiwa na mama yake hapa na majirani hapa, tukasikia mama mwingine akasikia ati hiyo ndio kuangalia mtu amekufika hapa, ameangusha watoto chini. Sasa kuangalia mtoto wangu nikapata amefunjika mguu na mgongo hapa.
Sisi kilio yetu kama wakaaji wa hapa Bahati, haki ya huyu mama kwanza ipatikane. Ya pili, Kenya Power ikuwe accountable na warudishia watu pesa yao ile wamekula. Kurudisha watu wa kununua token wanalipa 5,000 unaletewa token.
Our condolences to the family. Now moving on, County Government of Narok has been issued a 14 days ultimatum by the Narok NEMA Director Vanuelo Musango to stop waste disposal at the Kilgoris burial site. Speaking in his office in Narok, Musango says they have been writing several warning letters to the county government, but nothing has been taken into action. He added that improper disposal of waste products will expose Kilgoris residents to some serious diseases.
We have given an ultimatum to the county government after several deliberations that the waste they are currently depositing at the cemetery should be stopped immediately. The cemetery is not a dumping site in Kilgoris. They should stop immediately and restore the cemetery in Kilgoris as per the directives we have given them.
Moving on, the youth and women in Kisii County have been challenged to embrace agribusiness farming to feed their country. Kisii County Youth and Enterprise Development Fund Coordinator Atos Mogoi says this will ensure the country's food production increases from 20% to 30%. Addressing the press in Kisii Town, Mogoi said he is disheartened by the misery many youth and women go through so as to seek for employment in urban areas, yet there seem to be more opportunities in the rural setup through farming.
Tuligundua kwamba vijana wanahusika katika ukulima lakini hawapati mapato mazuri, wanahusishwa tu mahali ya kufanya transportation ya chakula na hivyo hawapatangi mapato mazuri kutokana na hali ya kilimo. Na kwa hivyo tukakuja na mikakati ya kuhakikisha kwamba tumetafuta mbinu ya kuvutia vijana kuanza ama kuingia katika eneo ya ukulima na vile vile katika ukulima huo waweze kupata mapato. Na hii kwa hivyo leo hii na hiyo study ambayo tulifanya na ukiambatanisha na the food agricultural productivity inaonesha kwamba vijana wakihusishwa na kina mama katika mambo ya ukulima, kwa hivyo chakula kitaongezeka kwa 20% hadi 30%, na hiyo inamaanisha kwamba GDP yetu ambayo iko 25% tukihusisha vijana kama hao itaenda 30% mpaka 32%.